Lunchtime Live with me, Kev Johns, on a very, very special day, as today thousands will be supporting the Macmillan biggest coffee morning in the world. I've done my bit. I've been to my local one in Gwasainon at the offices of Gower MP Antonia Antonazzi, and a good time was had by all, as you can see by the photograph. Hopefully the photograph that we've got for you. Apparently not. It's also a wet nose day today. That's me. No, it's still me. Also wet nose day today, supporting animal shelters across the UK. Today's the day to pose with a nose, and there we are. We've got that photograph, boys. Round of applause.
Yeah, I like that nose.
Do we not have the coffee morning photograph? They'll be very upset if I don't show it. There they are, with the chain gang. But last night I got to host a very special night at the Waterfront Museum in Swansea, as the Swansea bid to become City of Culture was sent to the Department of Media and Culture. After the event, I caught up with a passionate supporter of the bid. His name is Kevin as well. We'll see that in a moment. But here's what happened last night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to see you. Welcome to the National Waterfront Museum in the great Premier League city of Swansea. It's lovely to see you all. And before I get stuck into a script, which once I'm in it I can't get out of it, there's no escape. And just to say well done to everybody who's worked so hard to get the bid this far. People have been very passionate and worked really, really hard. So give them a big round of applause. You know who they are. They've been fantastic. Well done, each and every one of you. So, welcome to this event, which marks the culmination of a huge amount of work that's gone into the preparation for Swansea's final bid to become the UK City of Culture for 2021. We got through the first round. Beat off stiff competition from 6 other cities. And now in the final round. He's got a box. You've got to open the box. Give him the box. Take it out of the box. Press buttons up. Hang on, you've got to press send. It nearly went pear-shaped then, didn't it? So there we go. So there we have it. Oh, were you going to press the button? All right, if you do it then. So there we are. It's going to go on its way, and on that screen now we should see we've got somebody there ready to receive the bid. No, the count 3, 2, 1.
Kev, yes, yeah, I got it, great. So, oh, great, so we're on. Is it live now, is it? Brilliant, it worked, well done. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Listen, before I go in, I just want to give you all gathered there this evening in Swansea my heartfelt congratulations on behalf of myself and the whole of Wales for your hard work and diligence over the last years and months leading up to this moment and onwards to the future. So llongyfarchiadau gwresog I chi gyd. Okay, I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling lucky. So listen, I'm just gonna pop to the bookies and I'll be back in a minute. We've got plenty of time. Only joking. Right, I'm going in now. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, come on, Reese. Ambition is critical. 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 Job done.
So, Kev, Alan, listen, you've been passionately involved with the bid, and you have good feelings. You're quite excited about it, aren't you?
Very excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited because it feels that the work that's been put in reflects a kind of honesty that it should, in terms of it kind of conjuring up something that Swansea has in bucket loads, and that's kind of a sort of self-deprecating sense of itself. Swansea is just brilliant at sending itself up, and you can't get too kind of airy-fairy and out of line in this place. And in a way, that's one of the things I really love about this city.
So, fingers crossed, we'll know the result, the decision of the Department of Culture, Media, etc., 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 around December. It's a very, very big title that they have there. Alan Craig, and we'll talk Swans in a moment. But to get this City of Culture for 2021 would be massive for Swansea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and to fall short against Hull last time, of all things, I couldn't believe it. But I was looking through the list. Wales is the only country not to have had a City of Culture for the UK. It's got to be our turn, surely. We've got so many things. You've got the Fringe, you've got the Jazz Festival. Just the people alone make the City of Culture, surely, as far as I'm concerned.
With the heist?
We've got the heist, yes. Yeah. But on Swansea High Street, like this, from this afternoon, we've got band after band with the Swansea Fringe Festival. That's got nothing to do with 2021. That happens anyway. And this week we had a great night last night. 4 acts I'd never ever heard of came along with guitars. They were brilliant. We streamed it live. You could see it at home and all of that. Morrison Office on Wednesday. And that's just us doing our bit. That would happen without this. And if we got that on top of it, I think it really would shine a light onto Swansea with culture being right at the heart of what we're trying to do.
Probably one of the Morrison Office boys said, "Hey boys, we won't have to tour Australia anymore, man. We can do it on the internet." That didn't go down very well. It wasn't received too well by the choristers.
No, it was fun though, because we did it live streamed it, and there people were from Vancouver, people in tears in Washington, all around. And the great thing was interaction, so people could say, "Oh, I've got here right here in Washington. Can you sing Mavanwi?" And of course we could. That was brilliant.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's.
So we're in buoyant mood today.
Yes.
Let me finish that. Let me end that with one word.
What's that?
Watford.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yep.
I think we tried to bore them to death in the first half and failed miserably.
It was kind of like the sign said Premier League, but my head and my heart was saying Peterborough, Tuesday night, Fletchfield, 1994.
Yeah, I suppose you can understand that the 5 at the back has sort of worked, but there wasn't any urgency. There wasn't any passion in the way they played. And funny, second half, having gone a goal down, we lost the game in the first half, really, didn't we? In the second half, he brought Tammy Abraham on, who is fast. He's quick, he's clever. Wilfred Boney's massive, but the ball didn't seem to stick on Saturday for some reason. But when they were both there together, it seemed to be a bit of urgency. And it got to the crowd, didn't it, the first half? The crowd didn't like it.
They were shouting, Leon. Very quickly, 2 short clips from the press conference this week. One, Paul Clement looks ahead to the game against West Ham, and he talks about Leon Britton.
Leon is a very good player. Good leader, good human being. Great around the training grounds, still will contribute for this club. Whether it's this weekend or not, we'll have to see. West Ham are a side that they've got their own difficulties. They haven't had the strongest start, similar to us, but they have played quite a lot of games away from home because of the Olympic Stadium not being ready for the start of the football season. So they had some tough away fixtures early on. It's an important game for both teams going into this game. Tough game against West Ham tomorrow.
Andy Carroll.
Oh.
Every time. Doesn't matter who he plays for, he always scores against Swansea, doesn't he?
In some ways, it's irrelevant what West Ham do. We have to do something different. We have to do something special. And you get the feeling that we really do need to win the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, West Ham, it is a big stadium, isn't it? There will be a lot of Swansea City supporters there. They are under a bit of pressure. We've actually played better away from home, haven't we? Although, having said that, as I say, my son's been to Southampton and to Tottenham and hasn't seen a shot on target yet. So that can only be an improvement. But I think they know. He said the training this week's been feisty, which he's pleased about. And there needs to be a bit more passion. That's what Leon Britton brings to the team. He knows this club inside out. And he's got heart, he's got passion, and he moves the ball quickly. We just seem to be a bit lacklustre.
Yeah, it's just so disappointing when clearly they're putting all the effort in the week, and you get to the match day, and clearly that's not the performance the players want either. And we've actually, as Mal says, played really well away from home and got some good draws, but you've got to do more than that draws aren't enough. If you draw every game of the season, you will probably go down. Therefore, we need to start winning games. West Ham have been poor this season as well, so there's an opportunity there.
Still early days. What do you reckon tomorrow?
Do I always say 3-1 to the Swans? 3-1 to the Swans.
3-1 to the Swans.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be really high scoring. Could be like a 4-3.
Well, I'm going with you, boys.
Swans, obviously.
Never in doubt.
I thought I had anything. Boys, thanks for coming in today. Next up, I'm off to St Mary's Church in the heart of Swansea City Centre. I'm back in the city centre here in Swansea once again this week. This time inside one of the city centre's most iconic and significant and incredible buildings, the parish church of St. Mary's. So we've come inside this incredibly beautiful church, right in the heart of the city centre, St. Mary's, and the minister, the vicar, the Reverend Canon, Reverend Canon. Got it right. Ian Rees, it's lovely to see you. Is this, St. Mary's is quite new to you, isn't it?
It is. I started here in June 2016, so just over a year, which has flown by, really. It's gone really quick.
Very different to traditional parish life?
Very much, yes. There's no really gathered parish around, so there's no community in the same way. People come to worship here from different places, but it's open every day of the week for people to come in. And people come from all over Swansea and much further afield, day by day as well.
And that's rather nice that the church is open. You know, we go to the continent, we find that all the time. It's kind of been a dying tradition in the UK, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it's really important to be open, particularly in the location where we are. There's the occasional worries that, is there nobody around to look after it, so do we leave it open or not? But actually it's really important for it to be open, and I think at all times during the day, people will just drop in and sit in the seat and have a little pray or think, and it's a place of peace in the middle of the city, which really is important, I think.
I have this wonderful memory of the European Championships in France last year, of these incredible churches in Bordeaux and Toulouse, the two cities I visited, and these burly Welsh football fans in their shirts going around going, you know, because you have this sense of awe, don't you? This incredible sense of awe.
Well, this place, people come in, people who've lived in Swansea sometimes for years will come in and sort of, I've never been inside, and the size of the place and everything, it really is impressive to come into, and it's bright and airy and just feels something totally different to what they're used to. And I think that by itself can leave an impression on people as they leave. Hopefully there's a bit more than that as well, but by itself that can leave an impression when they come in and just see, well, there's space and there's a bit of peace and quiet and there's a bit of time to reflect and think, and that's important. And
there's a sense of whatever tradition, church tradition you come from, that you have a little ownership of this place if you live in Swansea. Absolutely, because it's Swansea's church. It's no disrespect to Brecon, but it's almost like our cathedral, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important too, that we don't sort of try to be Church in Wales or anything else. It's open to anyone really, and we've welcomed groups recently from other churches who've been doing sort of missions to Swansea and things like that. They've had their feedback meetings here and things like that, and I think it's important to be open to all life in Swansea, and everybody's got a part in it, and we want that kind of ownership around Swansea really. It's a civic church, but it's for everyone. So,
the incredible fact is there's been a church on this site since the 12th century.
12th century, yeah.
Wow.
I think a fairly turbulent history throughout, but yeah, since the 12th century, and there's a list of clergy over there as well, which goes back hundreds of years as well.
You'll be on there. 200 years from now, you'll be looking at your name.
Which is a scary thought, really.
It didn't escape the Blitz, did it?
It didn't.
Horrific three-night Blitz.
Yeah, it was completely destroyed, really. Had to be basically totally rebuilt after the Blitz, and it took a long time because there was no money around and things, and I think there was a discussion at the time what to do with it, because as a city centre church, city centres had changed, and the idea of a city centre church where there were no community immediately around it hadn't really come into being at that time, and the idea was, well, if people had moved away from the area, we don't need a church there, but then people, I think with good vision, thought, well, actually, the city centre still has a lot of people. It might not be overnight and things, but they're there day by day, and it's important to have that presence for people through the day, every day.
And because traditionally, communities built up around the church. You remember, you know, Liverpool, a city of two cathedrals, the Catholic Metropolitan Cathedral, but the old traditional cathedral, Liverpool kind of was built around that cathedral, you know. What came first, Liverpool or the cathedral? It was the cathedral, you know.
Yeah, and powerfully, I love the image in Liverpool with that Hope Street joins the two together, and I think again that's a powerful sort of witness for churches everywhere, that hope that draws people in and together, and just again, it's something that we need to do here, is make sure we welcome everybody, and offer them some kind of hope and sort of feeling that they can go out, you know, hopefully with faith, but still filled with something that they've gone out with, whatever. And I think that's really powerful for the church here. And we've got a great chance to do that.
I've been in here, in the church, many times. I've done concerts here, I've sang here, I've comped here, I've done some comedy here, all very tasteful. I've worshipped here and been to other parts as well, but I'm sure there are other parts that I've not seen, so give us a little tour.
Lovely, yep. Where do I start?
Should we just go then? Okay. Ian, there seems to be a lot of chairs here. How many does the church seat?
There are a lot of chairs. It's about 600. We can squeeze a few more in than that if we need to. Remembrance Day is always a very full occasion, and usually people standing as well, which is a really impressive thing, and then march off from here along Oxford Street as well, which is a really impressive occasion. But there's some big civic services which are held. Things like the civic carol service is held here as well, so that's always really nice occasions as well.
And some, of course, get their own special seat.
They do. The Lord Mayor gets a special seat with a cushion. High Sheriff gets a special seat with a cushion. And the Lord Lieutenant further up in the church, also with a cushion as well. So
there's something wonderfully tradition about Welsh and chapel church life, that people have their own seats.
There is, yes.
Wars have been fought over seats in the past.
It still happens here, even in a big place. You still have people who have their own seat, even though there's plenty of others all around, but people will still want to sit in their usual seat. Which is handy for us sometimes, because when we're looking round to see who's here and who isn't, you think, well, that chair's missing, they should be there. But,
some of the flags and regalia shows the wonderful connection you have with organisations like the Mothers' Union, like the British Legion.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge privilege to have things like that so involved here as well. So there's the civic services, but there's things like the Falklands Memorial Service, which is held annually. So you build up those links with different people of all different ages as well. Things like Remembrance is a large proportion of young people, which is great to have in church. You've got the Mothers' Union, which the diocesan president is one of the church wardens here actually at the moment. But it's an organisation which has lasted for years, and sometimes is the sort of brunt of jokes about, tea time at the Mothers' Union things, but actually they do an enormous amount of good work locally and worldwide. So.
And then, of course, just behind us, the choir pews where the choir sit. Is that the correct term?
It is, yes.
Good, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, we've got a good choir here with a director of music as well. Again, ranging in ages from, I think the youngest is about 6 at the moment, to considerably older. I won't go into what age they are.
I don't.
But considerably older, probably. Always looking for new members, though. It's to keep up that standard, which is really important.
And you have a special taster night for the youngsters later on today.
We have, yes. So there's the taster session 4:30, and just the chance for them to come along and sing or listen to a practice and what might be involved in it. Hopefully they'll enjoy it and want to come back for more. But it's a big commitment. You want to show them what's possible, though. And I think if they can get a few friends together as well, it can really be a good activity to do, good fun and really enjoyable.
And to be in the choir, it's a great way to learn music.
Absolutely,
to read music, and it's a great way to harmonise.
Well, they get practice, proper practice as well, to do it as well, which is comes all as part of the package, really, and is important for us, and hopefully for them, we'll take them forward with a love of music for the future as well.
Take us to your favourite part of St Mary's.
I will. That's probably round the back from where we are at the moment. So it's
a bit of a walk,
but not too far. But
I've got my app on my phone, measuring my steps.
Perfect. I got mine too.
So why is this one of your favourite places?
This is the Trinity Chapel, which was an addition after the war, actually. And the reason it's one of my favourite places is because I talked about the peace in the church earlier, but actually this is a little extra peaceful again. You just come to the back of the church, and sometimes when there's noise going on outside in the main church, you can hear that, which is kind of nice. But you've got this little bit of peace, and you can just sit and relax. Again, there's colours of the windows, which sense the blue coming in this place. There's the orange and red coming in at the back of the church, but the blue comes in here nicely sometimes, and it's just a peaceful place to be. It's where we hold most of our midweek services as well, are held in here. And it's just that little bit of peace away from the main body of the church, but you can still hear what's going on. And I love that sort of contrast of things being busy, but having that little bit of quiet as well. And I think that's
other than the offices, obviously, for obvious reasons, are all areas of the church open to the public?
Yeah,
Because in
absolutely.
some places you
Yeah.
see the ropes where obviously you can't go for various reasons.
No, it's all open to the public. You know, it's we try to be as open and welcoming as possible. Have stewards when we can, to give a bit of history of the church as well, and just let people enjoy it really and go round. But yeah, it's open all the time.
And of course you have a little cafe. You mentioned that earlier. You have a
we
little
do
cafe.
a sort of coffee shop in the mornings. Hopefully every morning. It relies on volunteers, so you can never absolutely guarantee it, but I think it's very rare for it not to take place, and it opens about 11 and it's over up until lunchtime. Does a bit of lunchtime sandwiches or whatever, but that brings a nice lot of people in as well and just gets the buzz of the place going. You know, it feels nice when there's people chatting and just people gathering together and enjoying themselves.
One of my favourite times here is, for example, at Christmas time I'm rehearsing Panto. It can get a little mad and crazy, and I've sought a few moments of solace here, but I know my wife particularly loves it. The Christmas card fair where all the charities are able to sell their Christmas cards, and it's quite chaotic in here.
Absolutely,
it's very busy,
and that's starting this year, the day after Remembrance Sunday. Actually, we were going to start before, but I think it was just too busy to do it before. So we're starting the day after Remembrance, and then that goes on till early December or mid-December. And as you say, it gets really busy, and I think that buzz is really nice. And we've got a Christmas tree festival here this year as well, which we haven't done before, just over a long weekend. But we're inviting charities and schools and things to do a tree to represent their organisation in some way, and they can give details of their organisation. But hopefully, again, bringing community together and showing that it's a place for all the community, really.
If we are to believe the statistics and the newspapers, they would kind of say that Britain, Wales and the rest of the UK has given up on the church. I think in terms of Sunday attendance, there's some arguments to say that, although I don't think that's true everywhere by any means anyway. But I think one of the important things that we recognise here, and it's more than I expected, is the amount of people that just come in and sit and pray. We got a prayer book at the back, and they'll write prayers in the book. And I think a lot of these are probably people that wouldn't say that they go to church, they wouldn't say they're Christians necessarily, but actually they want something and they need something, and they still feel drawn to the church as the place to find that something. And I think that's really powerful, and that's something the figures don't really measure at all. And I think that says actually that the church is still very much alive, and it's up to us as a church then to respond to that and to welcome people in a way that makes them feel that they're finding something that they're looking for as well. And I think that's hopefully what we can do as we seek to build relationships with people and seek to grow relationships with communities, really. But I think that's one of the powerful things. But day by day, lots of people come in, as I say, who wouldn't be there in the church on a Sunday, but actually feel it's really important. As someone to whom faith is incredibly important, and coming from more of a new and contemporary church background, I do have to say I find something very special coming into a church such as this, and not coming from an Anglican or a Catholic tradition, but I find some of the cathedral churches, like I mentioned in France and across the UK. I love going to Westminster Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, St Paul's Cathedral. There is something special. Chester Cathedral is one of my favourites, and none as high up on my list as St Mary's.
Absolutely, quite right.
But there is what is?
Well, I think it's that sense of history when you're in a place as well, and people have worshipped there. Even in a place like this, people have been worshipping on this
since
site
the 12th century.
Hundreds of years, and I think you just sense that feeling then, and it reminds us sometimes that actually the Christian message is one that continues through the ages. And I love modern worship sometimes, but I think sometimes that history that's brought about by some of these old great buildings just draws you into something which you don't get from them. You'll get other things, but you won't get that. And I think we need those things. We need the modern churches that are not full of history in that way, but we still need to preserve the churches that have that history and that grounding of hundreds of years, which is really powerful. I think it does draw people in.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ian, this is the board you mentioned earlier on. You're there, look. 2016.
Yes.
I love 1330 Walter to Pedderton.
Yes. We don't know a lot about Walter, I don't think.
Bless him.
But he was here, and that's...
So they were rectors.
Yeah.
The first vicar on there, William de Gamlingay.
Yes.
Have I said that correctly?
Well, that was quite impressive.
I
don't think he's here to correct you.
No, he's not going to correct me.
I don't think there's too many family members around either who are going to correct you.
So that's the past.
Yeah.
What of the future? Because as well as the congregation that you have here at St Mary's, you have a huge congregation around you. You are the City Centre Church. You are partners in City Centre life with Debenhams and New Look, which is just across the road, and even Ann Summers, which is just up the road as well. I'm sure
from here.
You have no idea where that shop is, of course.
No.
But you are partners with these folk, aren't you?
Very much so, and I think churches sometimes can feel a bit like closed in and actually not look outside very much, but I think as a city centre church, we have to be part of that community and very much part of that city centre feeling. And I think the developments planned for Swansea, which will hopefully come off, will actually help the church as well to really feel part of that. Lots of exciting plans, I think, which will be good for Swansea and good for us as well, because I think it'll open up the church very much. I talked earlier about welcoming people into the church, which we absolutely need to do and hopefully do fairly well. But this will show in sort of terms of the building itself how welcome people are, because it'll draw up a big sort of pathway to the church as well, which will be really impressive.
You're going to be right in the middle of the development, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we need to work on that as well to make sure that we're ready for that and look like a living church, look like a church that really wants to welcome people, look like a church that wants to be part of the city, not a church that's just in the way. And I think that's important. And I think there's opportunities for us really to do that hugely.
And there will be some changes externally to the approach to the church.
Absolutely, yeah. They'll be dropping down the wall. There's a wall outside, a low wall at the moment. They'll be dropping down the wall completely. So it'll allow people to come and sit on the grass. There aren't a huge amount of green spaces.
Where will they sit to have their McDonald's without your wall?
Exactly, they will need to. Yeah, I think they might leave one around that side just for that. But there aren't a huge amount of green spaces. So there's green spaces which will allow people to come and just sit down. But then there's also this walkway in. They're going to prune back some of the trees, which will make things a bit lighter around here. It can get fairly dark with all the trees around, but you don't want to get rid of the trees because they look good and the sort of green spaces. But it'll hopefully be an area where people will feel comfortable to just come and relax and enjoy themselves. And on those hot sunny days, laze on the grass out there, and on the colder wintry days, come in here and come to the coffee shop.
Well, we wish you well. Thanks for taking the time to show us around. As you're always quick to point out, church is open Christmas Day, but you are open, in fact, 365 days.
Absolutely, every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
Ian, all the very best for the ministry with your work here. Exciting times ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thanks to St Mary's for a wonderful welcome. Now, it's always good to see a new business open in our town and city centres, especially when they have a local connection. The Quadrant in Swansea is now home to one of the largest candle shops in the UK. Well, in Wales, at least. Businesswoman Catherine Williams opens the shop tomorrow. Catherine, lovely to see you. You've gone from the smallest candle shop in Wales to the largest.
Yes, we have. We decided to expand and bring in new products, so it's a little bit scary, but we get there.
When I say the smallest, you have that little unit that's at one end, the White Walls end of the Quadrant, don't you?
Yes, down by New Look, we have, it's tiny, 226 square foot. So it's can't even swing a little cat in there.
And the new one is how big?
1,400 square foot.
Wow.
So the girls can actually move about in there now and dance on the dance floor.
So you've been known for Yankee candles in the past, but now you've opened it up. There are other candles and other products in the shop.
Yeah, we've got an awful lot more products. We decided a lot of customers were asking for other products. So we've brought in village candles, woodwick candles to add to our Yankee candle range. We've got a franchise which can do personalised printing of products, hence the bag
hence this little bag here, yeah.
So you can come in with your pictures, if you Christmas pictures, any pictures of your loved ones, kids, for grandparents, you can come in and we can actually then just print them onto the products. We've got Di Paloma, which is very new to the UK for us, and Bayliss and Harding we've brought in. So all new products.
I'm reaching for this because I love it. This is Christmas magic, Yankee candles, Christmas magic. And I do love it because it's such a beautiful... I just love the smell of Christmas. And, I don't know how they do it, but they manage to capture these smells, don't they?
How they do it, I don't know. But it's all laid with the candles, with all the candles, and it smells like Christmas. You've got Perfect Tree, which is a new one, Christmas Magic, which is brand new with Yankee. So it's going to fly off the shelves.
And people love candles now, don't they? I don't know when this kind of fad or phase took on, but it's still with us. It's not disappeared like many kind of fads, commercial fads do. People find them very warm, very comforting.
Yeah, it's come over from America. It's been here. I mean, Yankee Candle have been around for many years. So we've had the business for, 5 years coming up, and it's just growing and growing. People are using it not just for the ambience, they're using it to scent their homes as well, which is the idea of the candles.
And you printed this?
We printed that, yeah. So now training day we
printed it. It's a tote bag, by the way, just Tote bag.
Tote bag.
Yeah.
We do mugs. We do
Mugs.
lots, picture frames, cards, banners, compact mirrors, lots of different things, and they do little candle holders, Christmas baubles. You can have a picture of yourself on a Christmas bauble.
So you open tomorrow?
We open tomorrow at 9
Anything
o'clock.
special planned?
We have a competition going on at the moment with Swansea Bay Radio, which is, we got 4 people to win a year's worth of Yankee candles free. There's 1 person every day from last Wednesday through to today, and tomorrow we've got Bay Radio there with the competition again. So pop down, there's a big competition to win that. We've got 25% off certain candles, 10% off everything throughout the day. We've got a mix and match table there, which gives you all different products to pick for £10.
Fantastic. Store opens tomorrow. Good luck with the opening. Catherine, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, and lovely to meet you.
Welcome back. You join us on this final Friday of September, and hope you're having a good day. Giants from the world of choral music join us now in the shape of Efion Thomas from Cor Meibion, Llanelli, and Jeremy Hywel Williams from the Hywel Girls Singers and the Hywel Boys Choir. Tabernacle, who are taking part in a special concert to celebrate the Morriston Church being chosen as Wales's favourite place of worship. That's a big concert coming up in the days ahead. I'm sure that you're no stranger to Tabernacle Trevoris.
No, I believe we first started singing there back in the early 1950s and have been there most years then since, and did a recording for the BBC earlier this summer there. So it's nice to go back.
Those children in the choir are looking good for kids who sang in the 50s, isn't it?
Absolutely, they've aged well.
Do you have any idea how many youngsters you've had through your ranks over the years?
It's actually over 8,000 now.
Wow.
So it's a lot of children who are now mothers or even grandmothers now and still have children in the choir.
You had a very big moment earlier this year when you took some of the youngsters to Britain's Got Talent. I guess you had no idea how well you were going to do, but that was a massive moment for you.
Yes, it's been a fun year and a great experience with the girls. And since then, not only was Britain's Got Talent fun, but since then we've had lots of television experiences, and our online viewers of our videos now has just exceeded 11 million.
Wow.
So it's been great for the girls.
You're a bit of a choral town, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's got a few there. It's got a few. Brings you some problems, but, you know.
But it's a real mix. You've got the children's choir, you've got male voice choirs, you've got women's choirs, ladies' choirs rather. I should be more polite than that. And you've got mixed choirs, and that it fully represents the Welsh choral tradition, doesn't it?
Yes, it does indeed, and it's a joy really to experience it. We complain about certain things, about the commitment and so on, but you feel that there is a background of choral singing within the town, which stretches back to the 20s, 30s, 40s even, and you hear continuous stories about performances. For example, in the old Llanelli's got his old Tabernacle Chapel. Which was a wonderful venue for oratorios in days gone by and so on. Yeah.
Which also was on the shortlist to become Wales's favourite place of worship, and the same architect designed and built both chapels.
You can see the colonnades and the architecture very similar, but yeah.
If Llanelli friends say to me, "Did you vote for Morriston Tabernacle?" I say, no. Oh, don't tell me I pressed the wrong tabernacle. And I get away with it. That's the only way I get out to it. You've got a big moment coming up. It's all been announced today, I think. It was late yesterday we heard that Hillary Clinton was coming to South Wales. She's having an honorary doctorate from Swansea University and having a Department of Law named after her. But you're going to be singing at that event.
Well, we were told that there was something in the offing, and we didn't know what it was. We thought it was probably the Prince of Wales was visiting.
As he does.
Well, now then you see, but it's come now. It's public knowledge now that it is Hillary Clinton was going to be there. Why we are there, I don't know. Has she heard us before?
That's not much of an endorsement, is it? Why we are there, I don't know, to be honest with you. They could have had somebody else. They could have had the Morriston, you know. They could have had Ponderdillacs, but they've had us.
Morrison practiced there.
They practiced there, yes.
So, you know, we take it as a great honour, obviously, that to be asked, and we're looking forward to it tremendously.
But for both of you as choirs, or for the small group of girls who sang on Britain's Got Talent, whilst they're very different occasions, but both occasions that kind of put you on the international stage, really, that take you from being these choirs with great local reputations and great reputations within the world of choral music. You both have travelled all over the world, or both choirs have travelled all over the world, but something like this, as you say, how many hits you've had on YouTube and with your video, it does make a big difference to the life of the choir and the reputation.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just wonderful that we can give local opportunities to local children, which then transform into unique, memorable opportunities as well.
I'm just wondering what Donald Trump is going to tweet, because he's not going to be happy. He's not coming to this country, and it'll be the loser goes and gets a name.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've heard that they're recording the evening and sending a recording to Donald.
Oh dear me!
So that should be interesting.
But she has Welsh connections, Hillary Clinton.
Yes, apparently, yeah. But you know, it's as you say, when you get invited to these events, it creates a buzz within the membership of the choir, and it perhaps makes it worthwhile why you do 2 practices a week. You know, and so on. So we're really looking forward to it.
And it can help with recruitment, particularly in the world of male voice choirs, which, with all due respect, does struggle to get the youngsters because there are so many young choirs now as well, you know. Only Men Aloud and choirs like that have helped with male voice choirs, but it can help, you know, with recruitment.
Yes, I hope so, because, you know, you've got the fabulous young choirs in Wales, and obviously they keep together because keep their own, but we hope that this will create some sort of interest within the local community in Llanelli and say, oh yes, okay, well, it'd be nice. Well, let's see what happens if we join the choir.
What are you going to sing for her?
Well, we've been asked to sing. I'll tell you what we've been asked to sing. Calon Lan.
Right.
And Fona Fangil.
Oh, lovely.
Right. And those 2 can't be more Welsh than that.
No.
And the third one, that's apart from the anthem at the end, obviously the Star Spangled Banner, we've been asked to sing the Woody Guthrie song, This Land Is Your Land.
Right. This Land Is Your Land.
They've stipulated, can we sing it in English and Welsh?
Oh, right.
Now, about 30 years ago, we recorded it on sign, the David Iwan words, Mae'n wlad I mi ac mae'n wlad I tithau. So we're combining those working it into the performance.
She must be Welsh.
Well, it's amazing.
I had a wonderful conversation with somebody recently. I said, I understand she hails from Pembrokeshire. No, Landor. He said, Landor. Definitely from Landor. Live by the Liberty. Where that story came from, I don't know.
No,
what's next for you? For a choir, you've got this concert in Tabernacle now. I should ask you, what have you got planned for that night?
Well, basically, it's a broad spectrum of music across the genres of opera, oratorio, musical theatre, 7 costume changes.
Wow.
3 of the choirs from the Hywel choir family. So it's quite a big night, and something which basically you wouldn't normally expect in a chapel concert.
No.
So it'll be a very exciting night. But then the following week then we're down in holding a big performance in St David's Cathedral. And then we start preparing for a busy Christmas, where we are up in St Mary's Church here in Swansea, the Brangwyn Hall.
I'm comparing that night with you in St Mary's. Yeah.
Lovely, great. And then we've got the Brangwyn Hall, where we'll have about 300 on stage for mass choirs. And then the final event of the year then will be Covent Garden.
Wow.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And you were on Songs of Praise recently, weren't you?
That's right, just about 2 weeks ago, yes.
Brilliant.
That was a lovely experience, where we did some recordings for Songs of Praise from Morrison Tabernacle, and then did some performances also down in the beautiful Manorbier Castle by Tenby, and on a typical Welsh summer's day where it was blue sky and sun.
Beautiful. Well, I hope you get to meet Mrs. Clinton, Hillary.
Then.
That would be rather nice, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. You know, perhaps we can even give her a present of one of our CDs, perhaps. But,
and an invoice for it afterwards.
Yeah, you know what treasure, do you?
Yes, I do. I work for the choir, so I do, yeah. And maybe a tie for Bill as well, that would be rather nice.
Yeah, he's there as well, apparently, isn't he?
He is coming, is he?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
He's a big Efion Thomas fan, so I would guess he would want to visit the area, wouldn't he? And has done in the past when they were youngsters.
Probably should have sung the prayer from Under Milkwood Palms.
But you have to sing what you're asked to sing.
Well, exactly, this is it. This is it, and you feel you're constrained then by the demands, you know.
Well, listen, we wish you well. If people want more information about either choir, there are websites, I guess, are there?
There are.
Which are www.voiceofllanelli.com
and hywelchoir.com.
Hywel Choir Inc. Now with all these 3 choirs, is like, and Dad is doing well.
Absolutely.
How many years has it been for him now?
Well, actually, next year we'll be celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Hywel Girls Choir.
And you kind of get a feeling there'll be 140th anniversary, because he ain't going to give it up, is he?
Yes, and rumour is that maybe according to the World Guinness Book of Records, that he's now become the world's longest serving conductor.
Well, he's a wonderful servant of music, and that's generally felt across through the town, isn't it?
That's true.
Guys, we wish you well in both those events and all the events that you've got planned in the days ahead, and that's all we've got time for on the programme today. I like this chair; you could just swing around. You know, I like it very, very much. So good luck to the Swans tomorrow when they play West Ham at the Olympic Stadium. Let's hope for a really, really good result for them tomorrow. So we'll be back next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.